Well, let's begin our lesson.
Hello everyone, welcome to AFK Stage Tips 101. Today's lesson is on Damian. Now, before I begin, there is a hand already. Yes, can I help?
Yes, is this the class for Puzzles Daily Dream Realm Guide for King Croaker?
No, this is the classroom for AFK Stage Tips, not Dream Realm. So, if you're looking for tips on how to improve at AFK stages, here's your place. If you're looking for Dream Realm guides, I think that's down the hall and on the left in Puzzles room.
Oh, sorry, my bad, sorry.
Okay, fun aside, welcome back to the channel everybody. It's me, it's Dreamer. It's my pleasure to introduce you to a new series that I'm going to be doing, specifically focused on AFK stage tips and tricks. Now, in this first video, we're going to be focusing on the wilder menace himself, Damian. No one I know likes playing against Damian, so I thought, what was a better starting point than focusing on Damian? Now, in this video, we're going to be delving into his 3 main abilities and effectively going through some of the heroes that you can utilize to counter them, some of the strategies that you can deploy to overcome them, and by the end, hopefully you'll just be better prepared when you go into an AFK stage and you meet Damian in battle. So, without further ado, are you ready?
I'm ready!
Okay, here he is, the first subject, Mr. Damian. Now, he has 3 frustrating abilities that we need to concern ourselves with and know in order to effectively counter him. The first one is It's a Plane. We all know this one. It's where he throws his little toy plane across the battlefield. It makes a cool kind of sound and it drops a firework when it reaches his furthest enemy, or in our case, the furthest ally. Now, there are certain heroes that we can utilize to mitigate this high amount of damage and stun ability coming from Damian. I'm going to talk about 3. There are another 3 that I'm just going to give you before that are kind of niche or could be utilized. Now, they are Florabella, Ulmus, and Hugin. Those 3 heroes have seen some use in countering this ability before, but we're going to focus on a different 3, and I think they are the main 3. They are the twins, Mahira, and Lucy. We're going to start with Lucy. She summons a ally called Aquarius. Now, when paired with Theodore, she effectively can summon Aquarius at the start of the fight. This allows us to not only control the enemies on the other side of the field, but it gives us an ally to put at the back of the battlefield for Damian's toy plane to target and kill. Now, it would be bad if Aquarius died because we need it for the crowd control. So the good thing is that Lucy, when Aquarius dies, will regain all of her energy very quickly and resummon Aquarius again. And that cycle will repeat, meaning Lucy and Aquarius give you a stable platform to absorb every single toy plane hit as long as Lucy remains in a good position on the battlefield. I say that because you may need to manual Lucy just as a recommendation in case she ever jumps into melee and tries to resummon Aquarius there. You want to make sure that she is always jumping back and then summoning Aquarius. Okay, the next 2 were Mahira and Twins. Now, Twins have a unique ability in their ultimate that allows them to effectively be untargetable while doing their dance. This, when paired with the toy plane's timer, so the toy plane goes off at 78, 63, 48, 33, 18, and 3 seconds, respectively left on the clock. It can vary stage to stage, but that is the most consistent timings that we see. When you pair the twins' ultimates with those timings, the plane will effectively sail over their head or their empty space now on the battlefield and avoid them. So twins can effectively, we would call it cheesing, this ability by not being there anymore. And they're still providing their haste buff to your allies. So it's a win-win. Now, the last one is Mahira. Mahira is a new Hypergean hero this season, and through her EX weapon at plus 15, she gains an additional 3 lives through her voidlings that she sacrifices. This means that, similar to like an Aquarius, she can absorb some damage, die, and almost resummon herself. She can bring herself back to life. We call it a lifesaver ability. A lot of heroes have it, but Mihira's is extremely potent and useful because she also enables something really powerful, which is the Celestial Hypergean Phantomal. So most commonly, Mihira can be utilized to counter Damian when you are on a Phantomal Apex or just a Phantomal AFK stage. Those are the 3, like I said, Mihira, Twins, Lucy, that I would recommend for countering Toy Plane. Now, onto the Chariot. Alright, next topic. I hope you're still paying attention. The next one is Explode My Chariot. You will know this ability. He summons effectively this little healing chariot that, like I said, it heals his team. So our enemies are being healed by this chariot. It will remain there until his ultimate bar is fully charged, and you'll see that above his head. It's this bar that is effectively ticking up. Once it reaches maximum, you'll see that it will completely drain. When it does that, he will send his chariot, if it's still on the battlefield, charging towards the largest cluster of enemies, or in our case, allies, and it will explode. Now, what you want to avoid is having your ranged heroes, like your Valara, your Lucy, be your largest cluster, which is why you will normally see on Damian stages this positioning that means that we have Theodore, Iron, and someone else like Saida in melee, or a Baelren, Saida, +1, effectively just making it so that the numbers between the front and the back are even, because it prioritizes the largest cluster, but it's the one that is most close to it. So you can manipulate where the chariot will effectively explode. Now, you may not want it to explode, and if that's the case, there are certain heroes that you can use together to ensure that it doesn't do that. So we're going to delve into arguably the only 2 ways that you can deal with Explode My Chariot. The first one is soaking it. And it may sound silly, but one of the best ways of just dealing with it is just taking it. And sometimes your Theodore or your Iron just has to take one for the team so that you can progress. And unfortunately, that's the way it is. So if that's the case, like I said, you want to make sure that the team you are using and the positioning that you are using has it so that the largest, or at least the tied largest cluster, is in melee. The other way of dealing with this is through 2 heroes, specifically Lily May and Faramore. Now, it doesn't have to be Faramore, it can be another damage dealer, but it's most consistently normally Lily May and Faramore. Now, Lily May, as we all know, will interrupt an enemy's ultimate ability, and she does that with Damian. When Damian drains all of his energy to go and cast Explode My Chariot, she goes, no, and stops him. Meaning, the chariot goes, well, I can't explode, I guess I'm just staying on the battlefield, and it will just continue to sit there and try to heal its allies, or our enemies. And that's why Faramore then tends to come into this, because Faramore not only deals aggressive amounts of damage to this small chariot, he is preventing the healing that is going out from it to his allies or to our enemies. Meaning, the next time that the chariot comes round, Lily May doesn't need to stop it because it's already dead. Faramore has probably likely killed it, and the next one that comes out, normally Lily May, through manualing or even just through autoing, won't be there to interrupt it. The new chariot will come out, and then she'll be able to interrupt the next ultimate instead. This is a really good way of handling it if there is not a lot of control needed on the map. The most of the time that you'll see Lily May and Faramore used on a Damian stage is in conjunction with Twins. So that Twins dodging the plane, you've got Lily May interrupting the chariot, and you have Faramore dealing the damage. And then you tend to have 2 heroes as a supporting cast, they tend to be Mihira and Valara. So that is Toy Chariot, and that is effectively the most two important topics. Now there is a third, and that was emergency support. Now every so often Damian's Toy Chariot will release this healing out of it. You'll see it. It becomes like this green, these green blobs or these orbs. At least that's the way that I see it with my eyes. It might be very different to that, and you may have your own visual cue. But you can also hear it. It makes a very audible sound if you play with the sound on. Now, the way to stop this is to interrupt it. If you are using Lucy, Lucy tends to, through Aquarius, interrupt this. But I would suggest that you manual your Saida if Lucy isn't there, or if it's just Saida and someone else, onto this chariot to stop the healing going out. One of the most common issues that you will run into on Damian stages is tight damage checks. Because effectively, when you kill the enemy team, Damian has the chance to summon a toy chariot towards the end of your damage cycle, meaning there is a chariot on the battlefield still as you run out of time. Now, he may explode that chariot if you're lucky and you get a free win towards the end of the fight, but most of the time it results in a very frustrating timeout. Now, how can you combat this? You can combat this by doing two behaviors. The first one to try is doing that stunning of the chariot, at least once, to make sure that it isn't getting a lot of healing onto his allies or your enemies. The second one is normally, if you're using Saida, her third ultimate will pair up just before he summons his second card. You can wait, you can be patient, hold some patience here. Wait for that card to spawn, then use your Saida. If you do that, the cart will be caught in effectively her ultimate of ultimates, that whisper ability, and it will bind the chariot in place, making it a lot easier to deal with, and it will die a lot quicker. It will take a lot more damage, similar to the enemies that are affected by Saida. So those are two tips that you can take into Damian stages from a damage perspective. Okay, welcome back. This is the wrap up, the recap, the conclusion. I didn't touch upon one element, and it's a really, really important one. And you'll be sat there going, oh, he's missed something. I haven't. I promise you I haven't. If you have listened and observed and taken in everything that I've been talking about throughout the video, you are in a better state and place to go and defeat Damian in AFK stages. The missing piece to all of this, however, is you. And this is me voicing that I alone have spent hours of my life in AFK stages bashing my head against my desk against Damian. He is a very frustrating hero to play against. He is one of many, and we will hopefully later in the series come on to some other ones. But this is me saying, have some patience. Have some perseverance. You will beat him. Just make sure that you apply some of the lessons that we have gone through. And for that reason, I've put 3 of the bullet points that I really want you to take away from this above me. One of them is dealing with Toy Chariot, one of them is dealing with the Toy Plane, and the last one is just like a damage tip for you. So make note of these 3 bullet points if you don't do anything else. Have some belief in yourself, have some patience, some perseverance. You will defeat the wilder demon himself, Damian. Now, before I sign off, once again, there are some hands in the class, I think. Class? Go on then, Shadewing, what's your question?
You're going to die.
That's it, get out of my classroom.
The time has come to depart.
Hey everybody, I'm just coming in at the end. This is my way of just saying thank you. I really look forward to hearing your feedback, your comments, your criticisms. Be nice. Like I said, this is hopefully the first of a new series. I need to find the right balance between information and fun and humor. I had 9 or 10 other jokes that I wanted to add to this video, but it felt like it was almost going to be too many. Obviously not all 9 or 10, but even just adding another one, I thought was probably too much. So I have some in reserve. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of deliver some information while also enjoying it and having fun myself. I had a blast making this. It was hilarious. I have so many outtakes on my hard drive of me just being like, duh, 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 duh. Like I just couldn't say words for a bit for some reason. But yeah, is what it is. And yeah, like I said, let me know your thoughts. I plan, if this goes well, to do my next video on the topic of utilizing a hero better. So what do I mean by that? Effectively, we would delve into either Theodore, Hugin, or Mihira, and I would put a community vote between those 3 heroes so the community could decide who they want to see. And I would create a video on how they interact with themselves, how you can better manual them, but also some of the interactions they have with other heroes. So, for example, Mihira interacts with Baleren depending on her, like, 15% S+ ability, this sort of stuff. So, yeah, let me know. And thank you again. It's been a pleasure. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Nearly another outtake.